All right, class, we are on Lesson 5, and I'm going to pick it up on page 169, removing parts of a region in the audio editor. You'll still need to read through and do all the exercises before that. But quickly, I want to point out on page 158, number 3, it's asking you to choose a microphone input. Because we are not yet working with actual microphones, I would like for you to select built-in microphone when you choose your input. Built-in microphone. All right, picking it up on page 169. In this exercise, you'll use the audio editor to select and delete the beginning of an audio region. Why not just trim the beginning of the region in the timeline? Dragging the edge of a region in the timeline works for general musical arrangement purposes. But with spoken words, you need to be very precise with your editing to make sure you don't clip off the beginning or end of words. Unfortunately, the audio editor is designed for exactly the purpose it is named for, editing audio regions. Before you edit the region, let's create a duplicate so you'll be able to compare the before and after versions of the region. So number 1 on page 169, option drag the Life's Flower number 2 region from the 3rd track to the empty 4th track. Here it is right here. I'm going to option and I'm going to drag it. There we go. Page 170, number 2, unsolo the Life's Flower 2 track, that's the 3rd track, so you can hear only the compressed vocal track.
Life's Flower by Tina Sacco. As the seed which is me blossoms and grows in the garden of...
Number 3, click the Notepad button or press Command Option P to hide the notepad. Command Option P hides the notepad. Number 4, select the compressed vocal track and press E to display it in the audio editor. Pressing E will display it in the audio editor. Also, what you could do, you could double click the recorded region and that will also display in the audio editor. Number 5, press return to move the playhead to the beginning of the timeline and the editor. Number 6, drag the horizontal zoom slider in the editor to the right until the editor is focused on the first 5 seconds of the region. Right now mine's focused on the first 10 seconds, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure that is on the first 5 seconds. That's pretty good right there. You could zoom even further, but at this level you ought to be able to get the job done without forgetting where you are in the track. Page 171, number 7. Play the beginning of the track. Listen for the non-spoken sounds consisting of distinctive clicks as Tina opens her mouth to begin speaking. When you record someone speaking clearly at a good volume level, you're bound to pick up additional sounds. You may not see them very well in the audio waveform, but you can sure hear them. No problem. Breath sounds are also common in voiceover and narration recordings. In this example, you get to remove both at once. There are 3 different tools that you can use in the audio editor depending on the position of the pointer over the region in the editor. The arrow selection tool. The default pointer is used for selecting and for dragging a region horizontally in the editor. This tool is available when the pointer over the upper half of the region in the editor. That's the above the audio waveform. We've got the trim tool, and that is used for trimming regions to lengthen or shorten them. It is available only over the lower left or lower right edge of a region. So we've got, first of all, we've got, just going back, we've got the arrow selection tool. That's this one. When we move it off over here to the side, that goes to the trim tool. Same with the other side. If we were over on the right-hand side at the end of the recorded region, it would turn into a trim tool. Next thing is the marquee tool. That's used for selecting a portion of a region and splitting it from the rest of the region. Once you've made your selection with the marquee, you can split, delete, move, copy, or paste the new region. Flipping the page over to 172. Tina's first words start just before 3 seconds. Your goal is to use the marquee pointer to select a portion of the region just before she speaks. Don't worry if your selection isn't perfect. You can always trim the remaining region with the trim tool. Number 8. In the editor, move the pointer just below and to the left of the largest part of the waveform just before 3 seconds. Click the marquee tool to begin selection at that position. While holding down the marquee tool, drag left to about 1.5 seconds, then release the marquee tool. So here we are right here. I'm moving it over to that. So we've selected all of that region, that part of the region right there. At this point, 3 things happen, or can happen with your selection. You can press delete to remove the selected area from the region. You can click anywhere in the lower half of the editor to deselect the marquee, lose your selection, and make a new selection. Or you can click in the upper half of the selected area to turn the selection into a separate region. For this exercise, you'll go ahead with the third option and turn the selection into a new region. So click the upper half of the selected area and the selection becomes a new selected region. There we go. See how it changed? We've got blue over here, and when yellow right here. We've got clearly defined lines on each side. That means that this is a new region right in here. Now it says that we can press delete. So when we press delete, you see that it disappears. Page 173. The selected portion of the original region is no longer in the editor or the track in the timeline. Number 10. In the audio editor, play the region that starts just before 3 seconds. Listen to hear if you got all the nonverbal noise and breath out of the region with your editor.
Life's flower. Life's flower.
Number 11. If you still hear breath sounds or clicks before Tina says life's flower, drag the lower left edge of the region with the trim tool toward the right until you've cleaned up the track before her first words. Just like this. Put it down on the side and you can move that over. If you over-trimmed your first edit and removed some of her words, you can trim toward the left to lengthen the region. So let me show you that as well. Now you can notice that we can even go back and add in what we cut out. What we initially cut out with the marquee tool just by dragging to the left with the trimmer tool. So even if you cut out too much, you can always drag it back in. Finishing number 11. Mission accomplished. Now you can just delete the short region from the beginning of the track. Easy. Select it, delete. Number 12. In the audio editor, select the first region at the beginning of the compressed vocal track and press delete. We just did that. Number 13. Solo the Event Horizon track, that's the lowest track, and play the project to hear Tina's edited take along with a light instrumental background. Oh, this is going to sound romantic. I'm just kidding, class. It probably isn't. Here we go.
Life's Flower by Tina Sacco. As the seed which is me blossoms and grows in the garden of life's day, may I not be royal thistle, arrogant and proud, with cold dryness.
Sounds great. There are still a few extraneous noises that should be removed, but you get the idea how to do it, and that's the most important thing. All right, we will pick up the next section on the next video.